A Mike Flanagan horror series with the most recorded jump scares in one episode was cancelled after one season. Why? Welcome to By Candlelight, beaming goth, dark wave and post-punk straight into your brain. Don't look directly at the beam. Stay out of the light, Caroline. Stay out of the light. Today I'm looking at the Mike Flanagan horror series, The Midnight Club, why it could have been cancelled, and would I recommend you watch it. Many of you will probably know who Mike Flanagan is, but for those who don't, he's kind of like the darling of the horror series. He's done some respectable horror films as well, such as Oculus and Doctor Sleep. But his run of horror series hits, such as The Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, and The Fall of the House of Usher, has kind of pushed him to the forefront of the genre. Some people even refer to his work as the Flaniverse. Let's see what they did there. The Midnight Club was released to Netflix on October the 7th, 2022, and it ran for one season of 10 episodes before not being renewed, despite being left on significant cliffhangers. We're talking dangling from a cliff here with just your little finger holding on. So why am I making this video about it now? Many of these series runs are cancelled, so what makes this one so special and worthy of discussion? Well, to answer the first question, I didn't have my channel back in 2022. That's quite a good reason, isn't it? But that's not the only reason, and I'm not leaving it there. This series has just stayed with me, and it's been popping into my head every so often over the last 2 years, making me wish that it had run for the intended 2 seasons. The reason it has stayed with me is not because it broke the Guinness World Record for the most jump scares in a single episode of television, with 21 jump scares. 21. Count them. I mean, that's pretty impressive, right? No, the reason why it has stayed with me is because of the deeper plot that unfolds over the 10 episodes. You see, this series is set in a hospice and follows 8 terminally ill young people. The actual Midnight Club is a regular meeting that the inhabitants take part in, where they tell each other scary stories in the dead of night. Each story is then dramatised in each episode. However, what begins as a straightforward horror series, remember the jump scares, turns into a heartfelt tour de force as we follow the intricate plots of each of these young people. And right there, it seems, lies the possible cancellation reason. A scan of Google reviews tells the same kind of story. Lots of people wanted another Hill or Bly house, and said that after the first episode, it just wasn't scary. I do have to say that if you've set your stall out as a horror series with 21 jump scares in one episode, and then you change the focus to be more of a teen drama, you're gonna get some criticism. Please don't be put off by the fact that I used the term teen drama. Stay with me on this. Don't get me wrong, there was still creepiness and horror throughout. It's just that became slightly more secondary to the more medical related trials of these individuals. I don't blame any viewer for rating this series poorly based on an expectation of pure horror versus what the series actually delivered. We can see that on Rotten Tomatoes, whilst the series received a respectable 85% fresh from critics, it got 56% rotten from viewers. Poor viewing figures recorded by Netflix, particularly after that first episode, would have sealed the fate of this series. But this is a real shame, because at the heart of all of this is a series that has heart. You really care about the characters and what they're going through. And then you find out that there will be no season 2 and the no tying up of all the loose ends. And that's utterly heartbreaking, really. I know these aren't true stories, but they could easily reflect people really going through some of these conditions themselves. There was clearly some passion for this series from viewers, because Mike actually ended up writing an essay detailing how the series would conclude. An essay. That doesn't just happen to any old cancelled show. It was clear that audiences were fully invested in this series and that Mike just wanted to let them know the outcome. So, should you start watching a series knowing that you're only ever going to get half of it, with cliffhangers left unresolved, no tying up of loose ends, and you're just left to read an essay about how the whole thing will conclude? Well, put it this way. I watched it when it was first released. I was expecting full-on pure horror, just like everyone else, but then discovered the more heartfelt aspects of this series. I was more than able to readjust my parameters to enjoy the Midnight Club. Maybe enjoy is the wrong word. And although I was utterly gutted that it didn't get a second season, I do not regret watching it for 1 second. And here I am making a video about it. I can't sit here and tell you categorically that you're gonna love it, but no one could tell you that. If you're steadfast in the Mike Flanagan must equal pure horror and that's it, maybe avoid it. But if you're open to an unexpectedly heartfelt and heartbreaking series with some amazing acting, then maybe give it a go. You can always stop if it's not for you. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny the bravery and the risk-taking in tackling some of these plot lines. Horror with a heart? Most definitely. This series is still available on Netflix to watch. So have you watched this series? If so, let me know what you thought in the usual place. Until next time, see you later.